In this video, we will discuss the racial and socioeconomic disparities caused by plea bargaining and monetary bail. We will also introduce an effective reform to bail and evaluate the future of both plea bargains and bail. A plea bargain is the process by which a defendant is given the option to plead guilty in exchange for a lesser sentence. Roughly 95% of all cases are settled through plea bargaining. There are many factors which influence a person's decision to accept a plea bargain. Discretion, an essential function of the criminal justice system, is also responsible for widespread racial disparities. In terms of plea bargaining, the racial disparities are most prevalent among low-level and first-time offenders. Here, minorities are less likely to have charges dropped than their white counterparts, but in more serious crimes and for reoffenders, fewer differences exist. For defendants awaiting trial, there are typically two pretrial options. First, if a defendant is not considered dangerous to the community and is not considered a flight risk, they will be offered monetary bail. If a defendant cannot afford bail, they must wait in jail until their trial. And at any given time in America, there are roughly 500,000 people in pretrial detention, 60% of the jail population. The average pretrial detention lasts 23 days, but can sometimes last months. For people of low socioeconomic status, 23 days away could mean loss of housing, custody, and employment. Because Black and Hispanic first-time offenders are 90% less likely than their white counterparts to be able to afford bail, this disproportionately impacts their communities. Sometimes, when an innocent person is arrested, they will choose to plead guilty in order to return to their normal life, but also to avoid potential harsher sentencing if they go to trial. Public defenders, who most often represent minorities of low socioeconomic status, also encourage their clients to accept plea bargains, partially because it lessens their workload. Washington, D.C. has one of the most effective solutions to bail, an independently run federal agency which determines pretrial release through independent risk assessments. The D.C. Pretrial Service Agency also is in charge of supervision of defendants and programs run to help them. D.C. has one of the highest court appearance rates in the country at 88%. Bail bond companies operate by providing loans to defendants who cannot afford bail and charge an average interest of 10%. The bail bond industry, which profits off of some of the most marginalized people in the country, opposes bail reform through campaign donations, lobbying, and legal action. Most recently, the American Bail Coalition has collaborated with the American Legislative Exchange Council, ALEC. The monetary bail system has nurtured the predatory commercial industry of bail bonds and has contributed to the marginalization of people of color. Plea bargaining has resulted in the gross violation of constitutional due process rights, primarily for people of color. Positive trends in bail reform, however, are promising and indicate that real reform is within reach.